to be. Huh. What about that? That's embarrassing. So let's do this all over again. Rocket fans, y'all could have chimed in. I'm not perfect. I'm not shy. I make mistakes. I do it all the time. Did one last night in a video post. Happens. That's one thing about me. Call me out. I'm wrong. Been wrong. We'll be wrong again. Be wrong tomorrow. But back at it. It's Houston Roundball Review presents Let's Talk Houston Rockets. My mic is open now. My mic is hot. It was on mute there, which is kind of strange. I don't know why it was. But anyway, Rocket fans, let's do this. Rockets have won 5 straight games. They're now 6-16. Are y'all afraid now? Are the Rockets winning too many games? Are y'all concerned about that? What's going on with that? Is it time for the Rockets to start losing again? Do y'all want that? Because they are, I think, tied with the Pelicans now. The woeful Pistons the Rockets have passed the Pistons now. So Detroit's got only won 4 games now, and they have a Titanic tilt set with OKC Thunder on Monday. And after OKC lost by 73 points to Memphis a night after Jae'Sean Tate stole their hearts. And that come from behind road win for the Rockets. Good on Jae'Sean Tate. He's really taken leadership of the team last few games. Jae'Sean has stepped up his game, stepped up his play with injuries to Christian Wood, Jalen Green, and Scoot, Kevin Porter Jr. He's playing well. Garrison Matthews is knocking down threes. He's still being fearless, despite missing his first few threes in Friday's game. He ended up going 3 for 10 from 3, scoring 16 points in the game, going 6 for 13 from the floor in just 32 minutes of action in that Rockets 118-116 victory. The game got close down there at the end of the ball game, last 4-5 minutes after the Rockets were up by 13, and then Orlando came back, and you really saw, at least I saw, that the Rockets need a point guard on the floor. Eric Gordon, point guard, is not his best position. Without Scoot, with DJ sitting on the bench at that time of the ball game, they really needed a floor leader, or put the ball in Jae'Sean Tate's hand, somebody, because the team did not seem to be on the same page. They were not sure where to be, what spots to be on the floor, really what play was being run, who was doing what, who should be in the right spots. And so that indecision helped Orlando come back in the ball game. But bottom line, Eric Gordon, EG, scored the game winner with less than 2 seconds left in the game. And the Rockets got the dub. And that's what it matters. That's what it's all about. Finished out that and got the 118-116 victory. Tucks given. Thank you for time and chiming in. I'm curious. Want to get some more of my regular folks. Solo Dilo, thank you. Is anybody mad about the Rockets winning? 5-game winning streak? Are those same folks wanting Stephen Silas fired? Like Mr. Who was that? Bleacher Report, was it him? Mr. Fisher? Are those reports now mum? Are they over? So it's kind of interesting how it all plays out. The report came out. Rockets won. The players had Coach Silas's back, and they won 4 more since then. They got the Pelicans Sunday night, home game. Rockets are not at a point where they can take people for granted, especially with the injuries. Jalen Green still dealing with his hamstring. Going to be out a few more days. Scoot probably won't play. I'd be shocked if he does. Coach Silas said today that he doubts it, that Scoot will play. But it's a home game against a Pelicans team that is slowly figuring things out in New Orleans, but they're not playing great basketball either. So Rockets could win again and get to win number 7 and surpass my predictions for November, December with a 7th win. So good on them for that. And if you missed it, and because you maybe tuned in and my mic was still on, I was muted myself, blocked myself. That's kind of embarrassing, but that's all right. The Rockets hit 17 threes in the win over Orlando. They've hit 15 or more threes in all 5 games during this winning streak and are averaging making 17.4 threes on 40.5% shooting from 3 during this streak, up from just 11 threes on 30.9% from 3 the first 17 games of this season. So Garrison Matthews is making a difference, spacing the floor. It helps to knock down shots, of course. Armani Brooks got out of his 7 for 30 from 3 slump, knocking down threes. So threes are falling. Team looks better. Team's clicking more. Spacing is better on offense. Wins are beginning to show up, mount. We'll see how they go. They got a few more heavier hitters later on in this coming week, including a person y'all used to root for when he played for the Rockets, Mr. Harden, and the Brooklyn Nets come to town on Wednesday the 8th, followed by the reigning champs, the Bucks, on the 10th. And then they go to Memphis on Saturday the 11th. But first things first, we're going to talk about this 5-game win streak and the Rockets playing the Pelicans Sunday tomorrow, December 5th at 6 p.m. at home. So we got KDC Rockets to try to win. Don't be like OKC. Appreciate that, KOT. Thank you very much, man. I got some clips coming up as well. You did a thank you sticker donation. Appreciate that. Much love to you, man. I really appreciate that. And I'll post this. And I appreciate this very much. Thank you for all you do. Go Rockets. He's a Rocket fan. And I'm curious if some folks chime in. Let me know how y'all found out about these live talks, these Let's Talk Rockets, Houston Rockets live stream shows. Is it from my buddy, my colleague, Jackson Gatlin, and his Locked on Rockets podcast, or any of my other colleagues in town, or is it just that YouTube recommended video? So just kind of curious how y'all found me, and spread the word. Keep spreading the word. But first, I want to play this clip. I got 3 clips lined up for today's stream. There won't be any slideshows on this one. Not too much draft talk. I think we'll get more in draft talk in January. I do have a comment about Memphis and Jalen Duren. He needs a point guard to help him out because his offense is so raw. He looks very, very lost on offense with the Tigers, Memphis, and that team is struggling. A whole other issue in college talk. But first up will be, as Craig Ackerman refers to him, Gritty Garrison Matthews. Comments from him from last night, the win, post-game comments from him. And this, first off, Garrison, this really says his success is due to his teammates. His role is, he knows his role, basically to catch and shoot. But he needs his teammates to help him get open and get in the ball. So here, comments from Garrison Matthews.
It's just a work in progress for me. I know what my role is. I know I sprint to the corner, I space for guys, I try to, hit shots when they come, because my shots don't come off me. Obviously I got to be in the right spots. My shots come from, somebody setting a great screen, somebody rolling, somebody throwing a great pass. I mean, it's all about my teammates. They're the ones who set that up. It has nothing to do with me. I got to be in the right spots. But when you got teammates that trust you enough and they roll and they do their job, it opens up things for me as well.
That's honest. That's a great assessment. I think it's on point. I think y'all agree with that. He's become a fan favorite, I think, in a short amount of time. And I think he's become a locker room favorite as well. Not just for his 3-point shooting, his marksmanship, his willingness to take the shots, but also to take a charge, to throw his body around, to get that contact, to make contact. So he's fit in well. Kudos to Rafael Stone and Rocket staff for adding him to the roster, because his presence on the team, his presence in the lineup has helped the spacing, has opened up the offense for the Rockets, and it also helps that he's knocking down shots, which is important, as we all know. So he's fitting well. He and Armani Brooks have formed a nice tandem with 3-point shooting. I think they're developing a good friendship as well. their shooting competitions in practice at the end of practice are heated, but friendly competition. And I know Coach Silas was asked by my man Big Sarge Brian Bearfield if he had to pick, if he had to place a bet, who would he put his money on, Garrison or Armani? Coach Silas with that diplomatic answer: neither, both, neither and both, whatever. So you couldn't pin him down on that. But it's good to see Garrison Matthews fitting in. Armani Brooks started the second half last night, because of injury to KPJ. And I'm kind of curious how long Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be out with this thigh contusion. We media did see him he walked past us at Toyota Center before we were allowed to go out onto the practice floor. So he and Jalen Green walked past us. Alpha G, thank you very much. How you doing? What's up to you? And Scoot got treatment. He did not do much in practice, if anything. So he just got some physical therapy, working out. Jalen Green was on the court. He had his left leg, with the strained hamstring, wearing a white, what do we call it? A white stocking, some kind of thing like that. So I don't, not sure about what's going on. I mean, he just started some shooting around, but he's not any closer to playing. Won't play tomorrow for sure. Will be evaluated in a few more days after that and see how the hamstring feels. But he did take a few shots. So here's a clip from Coach Silas after today's practice. Not quite a minute, but just a little update, basically about what I just said about Scoot and Jalen, as well as how the team's finish last night against Orlando and some of the causes for those issues as they close out the ball game versus the Magic.
Was Jalen able to practice today?
No, neither.
No updates on whether or not KPJ could play tomorrow?
No updates. I doubt it. But, he didn't participate today, and he's downstairs getting treatment. So I doubt that he plays tomorrow.
Kind of practice was today, Coach? Just a simple walkthrough?
Yeah, today was simple. We watched the film from last night. We got him loose, got some shots up, and then we went over offensive execution, just making sure that not only do we know the plays, but we know why we're running the plays. So who needs to get to their right hand? Who needs to go to their left hand? When JT has the ball and he's bringing it up the floor, what are some options that we can get to? So just cleaning some of that stuff up, and that was it.
Just cleaning some of that stuff up. So that's important. And part of what he said, and KRTs, I'm going to answer your question in just a second. Part of what Coach Silas mentioned there is some of the players still aren't locked in on the plays and where to go. And so you got to fine tune and make sure everybody understands the plays and why the play is going to do this, calls for this, after that. So you got to get everybody on the same page to make sure you can get the right execution offensively and defensively too, because you want to be a string defensively and know where your teammates are in the right defensive schemes. Coach Wall. No, KRTs, I do not believe Coach Wall will play soon. And I guess I should ask you, what do you consider soon? So is soon to you by the end of this month, end of December? Is soon to you maybe some point in January? I didn't see the little part of practice we were able to see today. I don't remember seeing Coach Wall there. I know he was with the team last night on the bench, but I don't remember seeing him. I don't think I saw him today with the team. He could have been there beforehand, before we were able to get on the court to watch the end of practice. Before KPJ is healed. No. And then regarding Scoot and his injury, this is the third time he's had an issue with the thigh contusion. The first time he missed some games. Second time he told the fans that he listened to his body and did not try to push it and rush coming back. Well, he's now aggravated it for a third time. Well, Scoot, what's your body telling you? Because he played a little bit after the third time with the thigh contusion. So something's not right. He's clearly not 100%. The thigh contusion is more problematic than he would like. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take the injury to get as close to 100 as possible. But I think he needs to take care of that now instead of risking this becoming chronic. So we'll see how that all plays out. Why shouldn't Wall start now? Well, one, John is not in NBA shape. That's one. He's not 100% ready for NBA action. John is in shape to light people like me and the fans up. He may be close to 80, 85%, but he's not in NBA shape, to play game in, game out, do the grind, 25 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. He's not there for that. So that's the answer to that. And I think, Coach Silas mentioned earlier this week that they want John to begin practicing, ramping up his minutes, going hard in practice, and then steadily building up his conditioning, and then talk with Rafael, Coach Silas, and then see where John is physically about playing and about, I think, coming off the bench. So I think that's going to be a key. Is John needs to come off the bench. That is really that's my opinion on it. I don't believe it's, yes, I know John is a established star in the league. I know all that, the cachet he brings to the table. But right now, he has not played this season thus far, so he has not earned a starting spot. Even if he comes back and kills it in practice, he has to earn that starting spot. And if he does that in January, okay. If the Rockets decide to do that, because what if the Rockets continue winning? I'm not sure how much winning they'll do the rest of this month of December. But what if they're 6-16 now? What if for the month of December, they go 500? Then what really the incentive go 500 with the youngsters, with the team as is? So is there an incentive for the Rockets to play John then and disrupt the chemistry? So they got to think about that. So we'll see. Josh Christopher with Scoot out, I think you will see Josh get some more minutes. Yes, Coach Silas did touch on that a little bit at the end of his comments today. And obviously you can go to watch the whole clip on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. So I think Josh could see some more minutes. You could see Armani have the ball in his hands a little bit more as a lead guard. He had 4 assists Friday night, didn't shoot the ball well from 3, but it's a different role for him as well. But I think Armani could probably get more minutes if he was able to lead the offense at some points. Not all the time. You don't want to take away his best skill, but if he could add to his bag, and part of that skill set would be running the offense, leading the offense, I think it'd be better for him and the Rockets. But do I see Augustine or Tate? Yeah. DJ will play more against New Orleans. Jae'Sean will have the ball in his hands more against New Orleans. I think that's going to happen. Alpha G has a comment. I would like other folks to chime in on this. This win streak is nice and all, but I want another top 4 pick. Thoughts on that? Who agrees with that sentiment? Who disagrees with that sentiment? Who just wants to win? So, no. get rid of Wall, no. Because I mean, they're paying, the Rockets are paying him to sit, to be Coach Wall. So they're not in a rush to get rid of him, because if they wanted to get rid of him, they could just buy him out. And they haven't agreed to that. Neither side has agreed to that. And I'm not sure if and when that point will come. Come February, I think the deadline is February 10th. At that point of the season, roughly the unofficial halfway point of the NBA season, John Wall will still be owed, what, $70 million on his contract, something like that? 47 next year and 20 roughly this year. So I don't see, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rocket fans on this stream, I don't believe y'all want the Rockets to give up a first round pick, part of a deal to trade John Wall, do you? So barring that, why should the Rockets trade John Wall? Now we can get into discussion the last few days. Rumors have been tossed around, and good old rumors being tossed around about trading Christian Wood. The logic behind it is sound, is legit, because I don't believe Christian Wood is a max player. I'm not sure the Rockets think Christian Wood is a max player. He's playing well. He could get something of quality in return in a trade. And by the time the Rockets are competing for top spots in the playoffs and going deep into the playoffs, Christian Wood may be past his peak, past his prime. So with that thought in mind, why not get something for him now, or as soon as possible? So, that's possible. It makes sense. I'm not certain it's on the front burner of any discussions with the Rockets right now, unless some team just makes an offer the Rockets can refuse and say, well, sure, that's a no-brainer to make that trade for Christian. You're going to give us what? But yeah. Solo D'Lo, the Rockets currently have the longest winning streak in the NBA, with the Warriors defeating the Suns Friday night. So who'd have thought that? Who would have saw this coming? So y'all agree with this? He prefers winning. We can get talent in the mid and later rounds. Look at Alpi, Josh Christopher, and Usman Garuba. They have all great potential and weren't in the lottery. Y'all agree with that mentality? Better. So we shall see. I need some of my fans from Turkey, or who speak Turkish, or will speak Turkish at minimum, to let me know what Orhun, if his translations for Alpi today were any better, because Alpi did speak with media after practice today, and he did talk a little bit about his chemistry with Christian Wood, as well as DJ Augustine, and his passing and his preference. He likes to see his teammates move without the ball, so he can hit them with passes and make passes to them. So but I need somebody from Turkey who speaks Turkish to let me know how accurate the translations are, because most of the fans say translations haven't been very good at all. So I'm kind of curious how today went. The odds, so we can get into more of this. The odds for the highest pick is tied for the four bottom teams, still in the bottom four. Yes. Let's see. 6 wins, 4 wins in Detroit. Orlando struggling now. OKC, goodness knows, OKC may start regressing and just go into tank mode if the 73-point behind whipping they receive is any indication. We'll see. Well, I'm kind of curious as what efforts they'll put out. SGA dealing with his concussion. So without him, OKC is really not a great team. But Still, if OKC rolls over versus Detroit on Monday, then I think we can assume that OKC is going to take mode early one more time. Alpi speaks English. Most of it is basketball terminology, but he does speak English. Bits and pieces he can understand, basic English language stuff. He doesn't like doing it. He's not comfortable having conversations in English yet. But yeah, he can speak English. Every so often, I think you can see it in some of the clips. Every so often, you can see him answer with a quick 1 or 2 words in English. So yeah, he can speak it. I think he understands the questions that we are asking or being asked of him fairly well. He's just not comfortable yet answering in English completely. So, but yeah, it's kind of similar to Yao Ming. Shingu knows the American profanity pretty well, because he was shooting threes today, working out with Luke. I'm gonna discuss this quickly too. And he missed a 3, this is in practice. And he let out a few choice words. I'm like, yeah, he knows English. So, but he and Luke were, I think if you have read in the Chronicle down to Fagan, once again, Shingun was shooting today during practice with one basketball between his legs and shooting with another one to try to help him focus on his base, to keep his legs and shoulders in the same, a basic base, nothing wobbling around, keeping straight up and down on his shot, and not too wide a base on his shot, legs even wider than his shoulders on his shot. So we saw that a lot more. He worked on, trying to do the around the world 3-point shooting, try to make, I think, a minimum 5 threes at each spot to move around. So he went through that, and Luke being Luke, he pushed Alpi. He pushed him toward the end there before Alpi spoke to the media. Luke said, "You're not done until you make 2 in a row." And it took Alpi about a minute or so to knock down 2 in a row. He made 1, and he missed 1. Make 1. Luke's like, "You got it. Stop talking and make 2 in a row. Stop talking, make 2 in a row." So he finally did that. So he works things out. But yeah, think on KJ, yeah, Oos can speak English well too. So put to rest all the trade talk. This answer, I'm thinking, Noah Cole, you're going to get some disagreement on your question and your statement. A few fans, at least during these talks, don't believe Seawood is part of the future of the Rockets, especially if you're going past 2 years. So I'm not sure folks agree with you on that, but let me pull up. Yes, I'm going to answer this question kind of similar to this. I think you'll see a little bit more of Alpi in the high post, mid post, the ball in his hands, more passing, especially with Scoot out. Yes, I think that's going to happen. And we saw a little bit of it versus Orlando, the 2 bigs, Seawood and Shingun together. It had been a while since we saw it, and so it looked kind of rusty. But we're got comments from Seawood, kind of spliced them together. Grapha, that's a new one. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. JB Johnson, thank you for tuning in. Underwhelming in comparison to other rookies he has, like Evan Mobley. But I mean, I think his future's bright. I think more and more people are seeing that he needs to get stronger. But he'll be fine. I don't have doubts about him long term. And right now, one of my issues with him is he needs to get his hamstrings stronger, because this current hamstring issue is not new. He had an issue like this in the summer, so they need to get those hamstrings together. But real quick, going to pull this up from C. Wood, and then the folks who are tuning in now, at some point in a few minutes, I'll probably replay the clip from Garrison Matthews, his comment, part of his comments from last night. But right now, Christian Wood discussing being on the court with Alpi Şengün.
Still, we haven't did it in 5 games, so it was a little iffy, something to get used to. But we're working on practice. But overall, Alpi's ability to see the floor and for me to play off him and guys that play around him is magnificent. His ability to pass and find guys is amazing. So I don't think it's a bad thing that when me and him play together. I try and let him operate. I think today I was kind of setting more screens when we were on the floor, but when we're both on the floor, we kind of want him with the ball in the hands and me to cut and set screens off him and just do it like that, just because of his ball passing. He's a great passer. You know he's going to make the right pass to guys that are open. You know you have to cut, especially when he has it in the high post, and you just got to really feed off of him.
So thoughts on that? Thoughts on what C. Wood said about being on the court with Alpi Şengün and Alpi's passing skills? Do you like that tandem when C. Wood and Şengün are on the floor together, or do you want just one big on the floor instead of both of them on the floor at the same time? What are your thoughts on that? C. Wood needs to get stronger. I'm not sure his frame. He may not gain weight until he gets old man like me, so 40s and up. He may not have that body type. He may just be a slender kind of fella, and Jalen Green might be the same way. Just need to get stronger. But I personally like tall, skilled guys who play well together, complement each other. So Alpi and C. Wood on the floor together, I think could work. Especially Alpi, once he gets better and more experienced on defense, defending the bigger bigs, the bigger, fives in the NBA, and let C. Wood be at the 4 spot on defense. I think that could work. So, but Mohamed has a different view, and that's good. That's fine. I have no problem with the different views. I do have problems with disrespect. I blocked one person tonight from the stream for the disrespect, for the silly question, disrespectful question. So I'll do it again. I'm in charge. I appreciate y'all tuning in, but I'm not going to tolerate disrespectful questions. So, interesting question here, fans. When Jalen is healthy, now I'm kind of curious. This angle hasn't been discussed. How fluid the offense has looked while Jalen Green is out with injury. So, what are your thoughts on that? Should Garrison start over Jalen? And the question earlier about can a rookie win $6 million a year? Yeah. If the skills, Dre Fields, yes, Dre. If the skills warrant it in circumstances, yeah. There's nothing etched in stone about that, sure. So for this, Garrison's been in the league for a while, got more NBA experience than Jalen. So maybe the offense would look a little bit better with Garrison starting and Jalen Green coming off the bench. I'm not sure the Rockets front office will do that. I think I kind of agree with Solo D'Lo on this. I think when Jalen is healthy and Scoot is healthy as well, I think Eric Gordon would be the one to come off the bench. That's my take on that, because I don't believe the Rockets front office would want their second pick in the draft coming off the bench, even if it might be better for him and the team. So, but that's me. They don't, they're not asking me what I think. I just cover them and interview them and discuss them. So, but we'll see how that all plays out. But Jalen needs to get that hamstring healthy. Scoot needs to get his thigh healthy. So we'll see how it all plays. Are y'all, while y'all are watching and tuning in to this live stream, are y'all keeping up with what Alabama's doing to the Zags? Right now, 11 minutes left in the second half. It's 68-54 Alabama. That's kind of a surprise. At least it is to me. Alabama is 11 for 28 from three. The Zags only 4 for 13 from three. Jaden Shackelford is going off. Yep, Jaden Shackelford going off versus the Zags. He's got 10 for 12 from the floor, 6 for 7 from three. Wow. 26 points for the Tide. If Alabama wins that game, boy, next Saturday's matchup against the University of Houston on the road for Houston, 9 o'clock start Central Time. That should be a fun one. Alabama's fast-paced three-point shooting against Houston's defense. But I think about, okay, you think Gritty as in Garrison should start over Eric Gordon when Jalen and Scoot are healthy. We'll see how they do it. I lean more toward Gary Bankson on this. I think he'll stick with Eric Gordon. Eric's playing better. I think Eric is doing a good job. He's doing a better job of increasing his trade value. Because there was a point that he was not helping himself. His performances were not helping his trade stock. I think he's doing a better job of that of late. Yep. This about Paulo is a concern. 7 pounds when he sweats, he loses that. That's why he cramps up. He's dealing with the leg cramps. Got to figure that out. That's a nutrition issue, health issues. Not saying it's a youth issue, but got to get that taken care of when he wants to, go pro or get to the NBA. That's got to be resolved at some point. Okay, here we go. Thank you very much. He's kind of inexperienced. Roughly translate most of the sentences and missing on details. It's like 80% accurate, but better than the last time. Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate the honesty, the honest assessment. So I'm not sure how much of a basketball background the translator has. So I think that could be an issue. Maybe he's not comfortable himself doing things on that. So Muhammad, I think so. But I don't know what, Paulo could be different. His body could be different. The sodium intake, I don't know if he's not drinking enough water. I don't know if he's not drinking enough just fluids, period. I mean, Duke has a very highly thought of, commendable medical team, staff, bananas. That's old school, the potassium. I think they know what needs to work. And right now, maybe they just haven't figured out they haven't figured it out. A combination of eating, drinking, it has not resolved his issue yet. So hopefully they'll get that done at some point while he's at Duke for this next few months. And then if not, the NBA will work on it. Random question. Who's better than, when they were both healthy? Because right now, only, Derek's playing. Coach Wall isn't. So right now it's D Rose. But when they were both healthy, that's D Rose, a healthy D Rose versus a healthy John Wall. Ooh, wow. Healthy D Rose, healthy John Wall. Wow. Probably D Rose. Splitting hairs there. I mean, that's like 1A and 1B, but I'd say Derrick Rose. I wouldn't be mad at anybody saying John Wall. Healthy, either way. But but I'd say D Rose. My take on that. This is the question that the fans need to. We're all discussing the Rockets. What is the consensus? do y'all want the Rockets to resume losing again? I think, because OKC took things to a whole nother level with that 73-point butt kicking they just kind of stood and took from the Grizzlies. So JB Johnson says keep winning. Gary Banks says you want to keep winning. No to tanking. I think if OKC gets waxed by a struggling Detroit Pistons team on Monday, OKC trying to tank. They starting early. They're starting early. And then that'll be one of the 4 spots. Detroit trying to figure things out too. Pieces aren't there for them, so I think they're just going to lose naturally. So Muhammad thinks they just develop what they have. And so I think we got more people so far who just want the Rockets to have it be organic. They win, battle, get better, develop, but not tank. Okay, we'll see how it all plays out from the front office perspective. We'll see if that mentality changes in January and February. If they're like, hey, we're starting to win games, let's just keep it going, keep it rolling, and how it all plays out, we'll just go from there. That's possible. Gary, like I said, I think Jae'Sean Tate took all their hearts, took OKC, took all of them. He was Thanos, took all of them. Just took every bit of OKC's hearts. Just all of them. Because the next night against Memphis, man, my goodness gracious. And they have all those picks, and what are you going to do? At what point are you going to do some of those picks and develop the team you have and keep them? So that's the question for OKC to answer. And at some point, it's got to be a question the commissioner needs to look into as well. Because, man, if they just consistently tank and rinse, wash, repeat over and over and losing, and all they're doing is taking on picks and doing nothing with them, that's not good for the NBA. So we'll see how it all plays out. Rockets were not trying to tank last year. The injuries zapped them immensely, and that resulted in the losses, and they ended up with a high pick and got Jalen Green. So it could be a part of that. And the Rockets beat up, they were physical with SGA. I think he hit his head twice in that game. He hit on the floor. Concussion protocol with him. So we'll see how long he's going to be out. John Wall. See, Gary Banks' comment here. Rockets getting John Wall's contract off the books. If the Rockets keep him this season, then next season, that 2022-23 season, then will be the last year of Coach Wall's contract. They might get better offers for him via trade, but then if they don't, at the end of the 23 season, John's contract comes off the books. And then the Rockets should be better then than they are now. So Rockets, let's see. I haven't checked lately standings wise, but last I checked, the Rockets weren't that far out of the 10th spot in the West. It's like 5 games? I think 5.5, maybe 6 games, something like that. Let's see here. So personally, let's see. They are 4.5. Minnesota and Portland are 11-12. Denver is 11-11. Lakers 12-12. So the Rockets right now are 4.5 out of the 9th/10th spot for the play-in. 7 through 10 are in the play-in. I'm not convinced that reaching the play-in is going to be a good thing for the Rockets this year, but Rockets are doing those things. OKC lost by 73 points. Was it 152 to 79? Almost hard to believe. 152 to 79. KRTs, I'm not, hey, as Rocket fans like to see that. I don't think it's for the betterment of the franchise. I think they need to get one more high lottery pick. I'm going to be consistent with that this year doing these shows. But Rockets do what they do. And things go organically, 4.5 out of that 9th/10th spot. If they go on another losing streak, that might squash those kind of talks. Right now, they're not doing that. They've won 5 in a row. Should beat the Pelicans tomorrow, make it 6 in a row. And they got Brooklyn and Milwaukee Wednesday, Friday. If they beat them, then maybe y'all can talk about playing. Because they lose both of them, then maybe reality is starting to set in once again. But one more time about the Rockets and their offense and the improvements on offense. 33 assists versus Orlando. 33 assists, 44 buckets. That's improved offense. The Rockets, during the winning streak, have had at least 25 assists in each of the 5 games. They've averaged 30 assists in this 5-game winning streak. They've recorded an assist on 70% of their made field goals. The Rockets had 25 or more assists just 3 times during the first 17 games of the season, and only averaged 20 assists during the first 17 games of the season. Lately, in this 5-game streak, they're averaging 30 plus assists. Knocking down shots, you only get assists when the shot goes in. So that's how things go. Offense is clicking, offense is flowing. Guys knocking down shots. Guys like Garrison Matthews. So I'm going to play the clip in case anybody late arriving. I'm going to play one more time here. Garrison Matthews. Gritty Garrison. He knows his role. He gets open with help from his teammates. Gritty Garrison.
It's just a work in progress for me. I know what my role is. I know I sprint to the corner. I space for guys. I try to, hit shots when they come, because my shots don't come off me. Obviously I got to be in the right spots. My shots come from, somebody setting a great screen, somebody rolling, somebody throwing a great pass. I mean, it's all about my teammates. They're the ones who set that up. It has nothing to do with me. I got to be in the right spots. But when you got teammates that trust you enough and they roll and they do their job, it opens up things for me as well.
There you go. His presence on the floor opens up spacing, opens up the driving lanes. He gets to that corner spot. Opponents have to respect his 3-point shooting. He's a threat. At minimum, he's a 3-point threat. And with him in the corners, guys can penetrate, opens up drive and kick game. If he and Armani are on the floor, that's 2 3-point threats that teams' defenses have to respect and account for. So that's part of this turnaround. More pick and roll is another part of this turnaround. So we'll see how everything goes. We'll see if it continues. But the Rockets they found the right combination right now. And despite injuries, an injury, Christian Wood, injuries to Jalen Green, and nagging injuries to Scoot, they're still finding ways to win. These last 5 games, they found ways to win rather than what they're doing in the losing streak was finding ways to lose. So good for Coach Silas and the players to make things work. Less ISO is always a good thing for me. I just not one of my favorite types of basketball. But Wood at center, I think Christian Wood at center, he's taking advantage of teams playing small as well, small ball opponents. I think that's better for him. We'll see what he does against bigger, bulkier fives. But he's doing his part. The combination is working. Christian, he scored 20 points, had 14 boards, 4 assists versus Orlando. I think he had 16 of those 20 points in the third quarter versus Orlando. So he's playing better. He was more aggressive in that third quarter. He was more assertive. That's necessary. He's got to be more consistent, game in, game out. The Rockets need him to be very good every game. The Rockets are not a good team when Christian Wood is not playing well, when Christian Wood is not putting up good numbers consistently. So that's one issue that he's still developing, being consistently good. C. Wood, I think officially he's listed at 6'11", toss in the hair, things like that. But he's a skilled big man. He's probably will never be a heavier big man. He did well against Vucevic, yes. Other opponents since then, not really dominant bigs. But he's doing his part. But one issue that's taking part, going well for the Rockets in this streak, is other players are playing well at the same time. So that helps. It's not just one player playing well, which was the case during the losing streak. You can just only count on, you don't know which player, which would be that one player who's going to play well during the losing streak. Now you're getting productions from C. Wood, Garrison Matthews, Eric Gordon, Jae'Sean Tate, KPJ. So how is the coaching split between Coach Silas and Luke? I think the more spacing, putting Garrison on the court has helped. Luke and Coach Silas work well together. I'm not going to give away too much from this because I don't really know the details of it. But while we're waiting to talk to Şengün, something hilarious was taking place. Luke was literally holding court. And he and some of the staff and Coach Silas were just cracking up laughing. I mean, it was hilarious. So the chemistry is there between Luke and Coach Silas and the entire staff, from what I can tell. So it's good. I don't see Ben Simmons being a Rocket. I don't believe the Rockets are going to mess with that chemistry issue. I think Ben Simmons, another team is going to take a chance on him, but I doubt it's going to be the Rockets. We'll see if Daryl Morey, if the Blazers blink, and it will be a big blink if they decide to give up Dame in a Ben Simmons trade. I think the Blazers should consider trading Dame because they're just going to be mediocre, and he's making a whole lot of money going forward next season, especially when the Supermax kicks in. But Ben Simmons as a Rocket, do not see it happening. I think, like I said, Eric Gordon, he did better versus Orlando. He made me shake my head against OKC down the stretch after Jae'Sean Tate was rolling, going to work on the block. And EG just had an awful possession. We didn't pass Jae'Sean the ball. Eric drove to his left and threw up this left-handed brick. And I was like, Eric, what the hell was that? And then possession, Rockets called timeout, and Coach Silas designed a play for Jae'Sean Tate in the mid post, and Jae'Sean got the bucket. So good to see that play worked. It was good to see the play work last night for Eric. Good. Kudos to him for bouncing back and finishing and hit the game winner against Orlando, because he did have some mistakes down the stretch in those final 3-4 minutes. And his indecision almost cost the Rockets that game after playing well and going up by 13. Was it 114-101 with about 5 minutes or so left in the ball game. Almost blew it. Yeah, he sure did. Eric Gordon. It was weird to see. It was like Coach Silas was calling a play. Eric Gordon's driven the ball up the court, across his half court. C. Wood is looking at Coach Silas. Eric passed the ball toward Coach Silas, and it was deflected, and Rock's got a break. It was those kind of things are what Coach Silas talked about today, about getting everybody on the same page. And so that was one of the points of emphasis watching film today, because today's practice was pretty light, almost like a shoot-around session on a game day sort of thing. But Eric, if I could fix it, this issue about him jumping to pass, he's been in the league so long now, he just does it. I don't know what can be done to change it. That point too, he's not a playmaker, a great playmaker. He's not comfortable at the point, running the offense a lot. See, Gonzaga's within 4 now of Alabama, 76-72. Game's on, I think, ESPN. James, thank you for tuning in. Let me play this clip from Coach Silas one more time for James and anyone else who's joining us right now during this Let's Talk Houston Rockets live stream on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Here we go from Coach Silas.
Or Jae'Sean able to practice today?
No, neither.
No updates on whether or not J could play tomorrow?
No updates. I doubt it. But, he didn't participate today, and he's downstairs getting treatment. So I doubt that he plays tomorrow.
Kind of practice today, Coach. Just a simple walkthrough.
Yeah, today was simple. We watched the film from last night. We got him loose, got some shots up, and then we went over the offensive execution, just making sure that not only do we know the plays, but we know why we're running the plays. So who needs to get to their right hand? Who needs to go to their left hand? When JT has the ball and he's bringing it up the floor, what are some options that we can get to? So just cleaning some of that stuff up, and that was it.
Cleaning some of that stuff up, and I think one of the things to help clean it up will be Jae'Sean Tate have the ball in his hands more, run the offense, and more injuries. They're not new. Jalen Green, his hamstring, and Kevin Porter Jr. with his thigh contusion won't play tomorrow. So it's nothing new. They just need to get healthy. But Jae'Sean with Scoot out, I think Jae'Sean will have the ball in his hands, run the offense. Josh Christopher might have the ball in his hands, some run the offense. DJ Augustine will be that vet and have the ball in his hands, running the offense. And Armani Brooks might get some minutes running the offense. So there are some options there, as long as Kevin Porter Jr. is out trying to heal the thigh contusion. So there are some options there. I'm not thrilled with Eric Gordon running the offense. I think it limits his effectiveness overall. He's better off the ball, catch and shoot. He can get it and dribble and attack, but I don't want him run the offense too much, more than necessary. Coach Wall coming back anytime soon. Broly 12 asks. To be determined. I didn't see him in the little part of practice we were able to see. I think the Rockets want John to get his conditioning up, get his wind up. That's going to take 2 weeks or so, at least 2 weeks, ramp him up, and then go from there and see if Coach Wall and Rafael Stone and Coach Silas can agree on minutes for him. I don't believe it's going to be starting. So we'll see if John is going to be good with coming off the bench. Just work something out. Let's see. I see it in Jae'Sean and Garrison for sure. I see the toughness in them. Solo Dilo Nwaba is basically nailed to the bench. He's just he is deep in the rotation. He's not in the what is it now? 10-man rotation. Heck, last night I think it was 11-man rotation. So yeah, he is out of the rotation. Daniel Tice, I think, will play against teams bigger front courts. Kudos to him for being a good professional, good vet. When called upon against OKC, came off the bench and did well. Got those 9 boards in 20 plus minutes. That's a true pro. His minutes are going to be inconsistent, and there will be games that he won't play. But when called upon, he's got to produce. And Nwaba can't make shots. I think Nwaba's made 1 3-pointer all year, I think. So he's a good dude. He's just out of the rotation now. He might get back into it at some point, but it won't be anytime soon. So I'm not sure if he has any regrets about re-signing with the Rockets. But hey, right now he's out of the rotation. So we'll see how things play out. But I mean, if you would have thought, no one would have thought 4 weeks ago that Garrison Matthews would be in the rotation and playing so well. So NBA is a long season. It's a grind. So things change. We'll see how roles change. So he's a pro. Nwaba's a pro. Tyson's a pro. Augustine's a pro. They are providing good examples for the youngsters. And I saw the Rockets reassigned Jae'Sean Nix back to the G League. I think Josh Christopher is still with the Rockets because of Kevin Porter Jr.'s injury. So the time Josh was with the Vipers, he played well, kind of cut down on some of his mistakes. Almost like being like Eric Gordon, driving into the paint and not knowing what he's going to do with the ball once he gets into the paint. Decision-making wasn't good for Josh, so he's developing that. He's getting better at that. So that's a good sign to see, part of, development for him. So thoughts on this? I want the youngsters to play. I maintain that. I'm not going to change that. I don't really see, different folks don't agree with me on it. I don't really see a point of value in the Rockets getting to the play and getting the 10th spot or the 9th spot. I don't see it. But it's not their fault if the rest of the teams in the West struggle too, and the Rockets almost get to that point by default. So, 4.5 out right now. I mean, who'd have thought that? Winning changed a lot of things. Winning changed a lot of perspective. Grube is dealing with a minor tweak. I don't think it's anything serious. I think from a franchise perspective, once Jalen gets healthy, Jalen will start. I think from a Rockets franchise perspective, he'll start once he's healthy again. I don't believe they're going to have him come off the bench. So Jalen and all the spacing, we'll see, because he struggled from 3-point range this season. We'll see if the time away, the time sitting on the bench has helped him see a different perspective of the pro game, the NBA game, that he'll bring with him once he's back on the court playing. We'll see. Xavier Hall with the question. I think Eric Gordon's going to get traded. I think everybody's been saying that for a while. Looks like Alabama's going to do this thing, leading Gonzaga by 12 with 2 minutes left. How about that? Eric Gordon for sure. An Eric Gordon House combo trade would be ideal. If a team makes the Rockets an sensational offer for Christian Wood could be traded. But outside of that, I think, the usual suspects, nothing surprising. I don't think, Eric Gordon, like I said, I think Eric Gordon's solid play of late is helping his trade value. House in the last year of his deal, but it's only like $3 million. So only, that's not much in the NBA. In the NBA world, that's a hell of a lot to me. Not sure about the rest of y'all tuning in on this stream, but $3 million is a lot of money to me. But I think EG for sure. I think Tice might ask for a deal. Now that he sees his minutes are almost gone consistently. So, EG, House, Tice, combination of that three for sure. Maybe not all three, but two of the three possibly. So I think that's going to happen. Just waiting for the best offer. If they do trade Tice, Şengün's going to get the minutes, of course, but you really don't have a vet backup. Do you want to give those minutes to Garuba on a consistent basis? I'm good with that, but I'm not sure the Rockets would want to do that. I'm good with trial by fire. Learning learning game, NBA games, NBA reps. So I think that name D Skills H-Town looks familiar to me. So and if that person is who I think it is, he and I may have something in store for future Let's Talk Rockets. Let's Talk Houston Rockets live streams. So let's keep tuning in to those live stream shows in the future. Try to do this at least once a week. But kudos for everyone joining in, chiming in. I think this is going to happen. This would happen. Rockets trade Eric Gordon. The Rockets will resume tanking, losing, whatever you want to look at it, describe it. But the Rockets in the front office have to decide the direction they want this season to go, because they're playing well right now. The spacing is well. The offense is better. The three-point shooting is better. The rest of the teams, Sacramento struggling, Spurs struggling, Pelicans struggling. OKC may be in the process of tank mode. We'll soon find out. So all those teams right there, we're doing the thing. Rockets could become the best of that sorry lot of, 5 teams. If they're the best of that 5, then they're not far from the 10th spot. So we'll see how that all plays out. So we'll see. Jorge Sandoval, thank you very much. Let me get this question here. Rockets trade. Are we talking about all this, Gary, during the season or in the off season for backup center, backup point guard? If we're looking at veterans, you can get that stuff in the off season. I think they need another big for going forward. Backup point guard right now. I mean, heck, they got one in DJ, and they got one they're not playing in Coach Wall. So they have that spot fixed if they just want to utilize those players. A tall, probably another athlete up front. So positions that they need to fill, maybe not via trade, but in the draft and eventually free agency. So, oh no, I don't think the Rockets, Gary. I don't think the Rockets be that busy to get all that at the deadline. Some of those holes they need to fill, they can get in the off season. Yeah, if the Rockets get some mind-blowing trade offer for Christian Wood, Rafael Stone would be foolish not to, at minimum, consider it, and then if it's awesome, to pull a trigger and make it happen. And if that happens, if it involves for some unknown reason, a high lottery pick, do it. Because I'm not convinced Christian Wood is part of the Rockets' long-term future. Yes, he's only 26, but Jalen Green is 19. Şengün's 19. So, we'll see how it all fits. But I think that would have to be an awesome trade for the Rockets to do that, trade Christian Wood this season. My take on that. Will it be a close game against Brooklyn? Who knows? I'm not sure if the Nets play the night before, if they play Tuesday, because the Rockets, they play the Pelicans Sundays and they're off until Wednesday. So that might have part of it. James Harden may say to KD and his teammates, I want to blast the Rockets today. I want to make a point. So if he does that, if James Harden becomes Houston Rockets James Harden, game won't be close. So if KD says, I got this, and becomes KD, game won't be close. So, it's back-to-back for Nets. So they might have some issue of it. But if KD and James play well, play their A games, it won't be close. But, Rockets make a lot of threes, be competitive. But Noah Okoro, I saw a comment earlier, like moments ago. I do not believe Christian Wood is a max player. I don't believe the Rockets believe Christian Wood is a max player. So if Christian Wood wants max money and the Rockets don't want to give him max money, will Christian Wood be happy with less than max money? That's a question he and his people will have to answer. So I don't. If the Rockets win playing the rookies, then they win playing the rookies. I still don't believe that's going to be better for long term. I still believe, and I could be wrong, I still believe the Rockets need one more high lottery pick, impact player. All right, we can figure out who that's going to be, because I don't think it's going to be Jalen Duren, because he's very far away from being a good college player, let alone being a good NBA player in the future. And then looking at Paolo and Chet, Jabari Smith and Auburn, other players we could discuss in the future. But that's for the Rockets to decide. That's their perspective. My perspective is different than theirs. Because my perspective, I want them to take Evan Mobley, not Jalen Green. But that's my perspective. So Phil didn't ask me for my opinion on the draft. So, hey. But John Collins money, that's not quite max money. I'm okay with that. I'm not sure Seawood is okay with that. That's where, like I said, it depends on what Seawood and his reps believe he can get in the open market. And then go from there. But I don't believe he is a max player. Patrick Baldwin, he's got to play better. Got to show more than what he's shown so far. He sees his young in college. It's still young for him too. We'll see. Got folks saying that they think James Harden, one person said he will get booed, and one said he won't. Y'all think he'll get booed when he and the Nets come to town on Wednesday? I think it'd be some spattering, a few boos here and there. I think it's going to be a more applause for him, one of the greatest players in Rockets franchise history. So you may get a few boos, but it's going to be more cheers than boos. So, but all right. Noah Okoro said, boo, boo. So we'll see. I don't believe it's going to be more boos and cheers, but I think he will get booed by some people. Yeah. Especially with how he handled leaving. Thought he could have done that better. But time will tell on that. I don't think James will care a hell of a lot if he gets booed. He needs to play better, be more consistent himself. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Rockets Nets. Wednesday, Rockets Bucks Friday. So yeah, Harden with the Nets this year has not played like James Harden. Gary Bankson says he's booing him right now. So hey, I agree with that. Oh, depends on your perspective. Depends on who you like. Because some folks, I'm not a huge fan of Chet Holmgren. I think he's too thin. I'm more of a fan of Paolo Banchero, but I'm concerned about his leg cramp issues. And, he needs to get that stuff. But there's talent here. The top of the draft is strong. You get further down, then, you probably get past 8 or so. I'll look into it more than that. I agree with you. But top of the draft, I think, is very strong. Yeah. James Harden, he said this. Folks ain't going to forget that. We're just not good enough. And according to James, Harden was 5 of 21 from the floor tonight. How many turnovers did he have, James? Was it a lot to the pass the ball all over the court like he's done lately? He's in a funk. He is struggling. No question. Very good point. Very good point, Alpha G. Rockets boot Chandler Parsons all the time. He came back to town all the time. But of course, Chandler Parsons did not have the career as a Rocket that James Harden did. But James is going to get booed. I just believe he'll still get more cheers than boos. 0 turnovers for James. Okay. Well, that's good. That means he just threw a lot of bricks. Okay, so he chose to shoot bricks rather than turn the ball over. Okay. All right. I like Paolo Banchero. I like him as the number one pick in the draft. Some folks like Chet Holmgren. It's kind of interesting. As a number one pick, I like Chet Holmgren, but defense, he could have an impact a little. I'm not sure offensively what he's going to do. I think Paolo Banchero has more upside than Chet, and I think that's what you want. You want upside more. I want more upside in number one pick than I do that I think Chet has. I'm not on Clutch fans. Not me. I've been on Clutch fans, and my gosh, who knows how long? But yeah, I'm not on there. Oh no, I do see it, James. I do see it being an issue. Yes. Oh yeah. That's why I said got to get that taken care of. If it's taken care of, his upside is much better than Chet Holmgren. Now you can get into talking about Jabari Smith and others. Jaden Ivey from Purdue. I think I'm kind of curious to see what NBA scouts how they'll start looking at Jalen Duren because of his struggles at Memphis. Will they start believing Jalen's struggles are more due to Memphis's lack of a point guard, or is it because Jalen's just too young and he needs more time to develop? So I'm kind of curious how scouts will see him going forward and how mock drafts will begin to rate him because of Memphis's struggles this week, and Jalen didn't look good at all. He looked lost on offense, just completely lost. His offense looked extremely raw. Jabari Smith, like his game, all around game. I like him. I'm good with him going ahead of Jalen Duren in mock drafts now. I'm good with that. I could see Jaden Ivey going ahead of Jalen Duren right now in mock drafts. But, this is December. Draft is a long way from now. We'll have more to talk about that in the future. It's fun to talk about it. Jabari Smith looking forward to conference play in the SEC to watch him. Good competition. But yeah, Memphis problems. I think it's clear the Memphis Tigers need a point guard. It's not Amani Bates. I think interesting you think this. A true 4. Do you don't think Christian Wood is better at the 4? Or do you, because I think he's more of a 4 on offense, especially. Seawood is a stretch 5. He defends 4s and some 3s better. The Seawood, Şengün tandem could work against bigger teams. I think that's going to be something to consider. And so let me play comments from C. Wood talking about Şengün. These comments Kristen Wood made last night are kind of compiled them in one clip. So check them out.
Still, we haven't did it in 5 games, so it was a little iffy. Something to get used to, but we're working on it in practice. But overall, Alpie's ability to see the floor and for me to play off him and guys that play around him is magnificent. His ability to pass and find guys is amazing. So I don't think it's a bad thing that when me and him play together. I try and let him operate. I think today I was kind of setting more screens when we were on the floor, but when we're both on the floor, we kind of want him with the ball in the hands and me to cut and set screens off him and just do it like that, just because of his ball passing. He's a great passer. You know he's going to make the right pass to guys that are open. You know you have to cut, especially when he has it in the high post, and you just got to really feed off of him.
So Seawood and Şengün. Seawood likes playing with Şengün as a tandem on the floor together. I think it works. More time together, the tandem could work. Şengün, Alpi was working on his 3-point shooting today at the end of practice with John Lucas. So he puts in work. Alpi works on his game. So he's working on his 3-point shot. He's getting more comfortable with it. His form is still not consistent on it, so that's part of it, form and release. He's working on. He's putting in the work with Luke. He's getting better. The Rockets, I think, continue to be surprised at how well he's played so far. Eric Gordon for a bowl. The Nuggets. Why would the Rockets want to do that? I can understand why the Nuggets want to do it, but yeah, why would the Rockets want to do that? Let me put it up here. I'm not sure. It's a good point. I'm not sure Alpi is ready to start and play 36, 38 minutes a game yet. I think he'll get there, but he's not there yet. So, but his future is just so bright because he has so many good skills, and his basketball IQ is so high on offense and defense. But he does get in foul trouble. Starting might make it worse. So he's learning how. Be sure, if you haven't already, I'm going to say it right now, but be sure to watch his comments via his translator today on the Roundball Review YouTube channel. The last question Şengün was asked was, what has been the most difficult thing so far for him in the NBA? And Alpi said, road trips. So that's an honest answer. And it makes a lot of sense. Road trips are hard on vets, but got to be hard on a 19-year-old, especially a 19-year-old who's from another country. Cam Reddish. He's had his moments. Solo, give me, who would you want to give up for Cam Reddish? It's not, he got potential. He's young. I like that. You get part of the core going forward. I can see that. He didn't live up to the hype at Duke, but it really wasn't his fault. Other teammates out-hyped him. So, oh man, if the Hawks would take House for Cam Reddish, heck yeah. oh yeah, for sure. Oh, most definitely. You get a youngster early in his career for mid vet. No doubt I would do that if I'm the Rockets. Definitely. The Hawks, Trae Young, could believe that they could get House in a different environment, help his game get better. That happens. Y'all hear it all the time. Different sports, a change of scenery Well, we thought player X needed a change of scenery, could benefit from a change of scenery. If the Hawks believe that about House and want to trade Cam Reddish to the Rockets, yep, do that. But Garrison Matthews playing. See, I don't think anybody on here would turn that down. House with Cam Reddish. So yeah, kind of all this. He should. John Wall should come off the bench. He should. Will he is the question. But yes, he should. Because it's better for him to show that he really wants to get back in the NBA, to show that he still has game this year. He had his moments last year, but this year, teams have not seen him play. So a bench role, production, positive minutes, positive production, yeah, I think he should. But the question is, the bigger issue is pride. Will his pride get in his way? Because if pride gets in his way, then he ain't gonna play. Because he should not start. But I don't want to trade House. I think the Rockets get value for House. They should trade House. This is business. That's nothing personal. I mean, good grief. I first saw House play when he was at Hightower. So yeah, in my man Jim Hicks Rucker on Wood. So so that's a long time ago. So but back to Coach Wall, he needs to accept the role. If it's a bench role, do it. Get those minutes, produce, and go from there. Jennifer, welcome. That's a new name I haven't seen. We just touched on Jabari Smith. I think he'd be a very good fit for the Rockets. Yes, I do. I like his potential. I like his upside. I like his skill set, height, everything. Yes. But, well, I'm not even talking about that, Broly. House in the bubble, yeah. But, yes, NBA is a business. NBA is a business when it comes to all these players. House, Coach Wall, Eric Gordon, Christian Wood. From a fan perspective, fans root for players. Some fans root for players, period. Not teams, just players. Some fans root for teams. And then some root for both. John Wall has a player option on the 2022-23 season worth $47.4 million. He is going to opt into that player option. He'd be foolish not to. Which gets us to another point. If John agrees to a buyout, then he's going to have to give some of that money back. And if he does that, would the new team that signs him make up for it? I doubt it. So then again, that's why I had an issue with John and his free John Wall comments last week. You want to be free, John Wall? Give him some of that money. Simple as that. But hey, it's easy for me to say give up out of that 47 million, 20 million. It's a lot of damn money. But if John wants to play, at minimum, he needs to meet the Rockets halfway. And first things first, come off the bench. That's first. Come off the bench. What sounds like we are a ways from that. All right, fans, I'm going to go watch some boxing. Gary, even the wall for Kimba. Kimba only makes, let's see. What does Kimba make? $8 million? It's nowhere close to what John makes. So then he got to trade for a whole lot to make the salaries work. So then Rockets are taking on more bodies for players they don't want. Kimmer makes 8.7. And John makes 40, 41, 44 this year. So 8.7, 44. Got to make it work. So you got to toss in more stuff to get that to work. Don't see that happening. I watched Devin Haney. Devin Haney got a fight coming up. Yep, about to watch it on DAZN. Shouldn't have done that because DAZN ain't paying me for sponsorship. But real talk, that little spot up there in the right corner, got somebody who wants to sponsor the show. You see, we have fun on these shows. I got good views, good numbers. I think it gets better and better. Word of mouth is real. But as always, thank you very much for tuning in to these Rocket Talks. Honestly, y'all really don't know how much it means to me, because every so often, real talk. I'm going to say real talk briefly. Sometimes I wonder if I should do these things. If I really wonder sometimes I wonder what's the point. But let's see. Yeah, Rockets got games Friday and Saturday, 10th and the 11th. So let's see. Probably looking at the next Let's Talk Rockets will be Sunday the 12th. Probably, because Rockets got game Friday and Saturday. So probably the 12th, unless my favorite cousin has a party for her birthday. She's like my twin, so she says party. Let me on party. So, but let's shoot for the 12th. But as always, thank you very much, Gary. Thank you, man. In due time, man. Do what you can. Word of mouth is right now is good. Appreciate it. Let's see. Justin starting for a few minutes, playing in spurts. But I mean, 5 minutes to start. Appreciate that, Norco. Thank you very much. But really, and the monetary part of it that's one part of it, because this is a business. But I'm talking about just the appreciation part of it, the acknowledgement. Doing this is a way for me to connect with the fans. This is what I enjoy. I love this because years ago, I used to have a regular appearance on a sports talk show on 60 Radio every Friday. Long time ago, every Friday, talking sports with Jimmy Foster and Matt Jackson every Friday. But I don't know. Went down the dial. I used to be on every sports. I've been on every sports station in town. And then for a while, I ain't been on since. Not sure why. So being on KYOK with AJ Jones last few months has been a blessing for me, because AJ gave me the idea and impetus to start doing these streaming shows. So because of him, I've started doing this. So these stream shows are fun. I'm enjoying them. So talk with the fans. It's great. Appreciate it, man. Gary, man, don't sweat it. Do what you can when you can, as always. Much love. Thank you very much, as always. Okay, fans. Like I said, Sunday, December 12th should be the next Let's Talk Houston Rockets. I got a game. I think that's a U of H women's game. Yeah, don't sweat that. That's in the afternoon. So I should be good. Much love. Jennifer. Oh my goodness. That question. Rockets ownership is better than OKC ownership. OKC, I don't know what they're doing up there. Tanking. That's what they're doing. They're tanking. Truly what I'm saying here. If OKC lets the Pistons smack them around Monday, OKC's tanking for the rest of the season. That's what it looks like. After they got blown up, their doors blown off by 73 points, and let the Pistons smack them around on Monday, they're tanking. I think pride will come forward Monday for OKC. That's what I'm talking about right there. But if it don't, that's on them. Rockets are in a better position than OKC. Clearly. I think we agree on that, despite what you may think of Tillman. As always, thank y'all very much for everything. Appreciate the love here y'all have shown me. Um, I do appreciate it very, very truly. And it's more than just this. Like I said, AJ Jones gave me a platform to share my thoughts and talk sports with him earlier this year, because for a while I wasn't on Sports Talk at all. Not sure why. It had been years since I was on Sports Talk in town. But I'm back. And I'm back doing it the way I like doing it. So this is better for me. I'm enjoying this. This is real talk. So appreciate it. See you Sunday, December 12th. Thank you as always. Peace.